You can also look at veggie-based snacks. That could be something like veggies and dip, or veggies like celery with a nut butter, or it could be veggie chips like kale chips. It could just be a pickle. I think pickles make good snacks. Hit me, Producer Potts.
Dr. Sarah, you have talked a lot about the health benefits of vegetables, but can you give us a brief summary of what those health benefits are?
Yeah, it's impossible to overstate how important eating plenty of vegetables regularly is for supporting our long-term health. So, the health conditions that are strongly linked to vegetable intake include our risk of cancer, cardiovascular disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, chronic kidney disease, osteoporosis, bone fragility fractures, cognitive impairment, dementia like Alzheimer's disease, neurodegenerative diseases, asthma, allergies, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, age-related macular degeneration, cataracts, glaucoma, depression, anxiety, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, inflammatory polyarthritis, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, acne, seborrheic dermatitis, and eating more vegetables lowers markers of inflammation. In fact, how much vegetables we eat on a regular basis is a better predictor of long-term health outcomes than any other diet factor. In fact, people who eat 800 grams of fruits and vegetables per day. Ideally, that's like 3 to 5 servings of vegetables and 2 to 3 servings of fruit per day. Have a 31% reduced risk of all-cause mortality, which is an indirect measure of overall health and longevity, compared to people who eat 40 grams per day or less, meaning not much fruits and vegetables.
Wow, that's a lot. Thank you for that recap. Can you give us some practical tips for using vegetables to up our nutrient density? But can you do it from the perspective of a few different starting points, from the like, I don't eat vegetables at all the way to like, I'm getting in my 8 servings a day, and maybe somewhere in between?
Absolutely. So let's start with someone who is not eating very many vegetables. My biggest piece of advice is to start with the vegetables that you like and the meal that it's going to be the easiest to incorporate them into. The idea is to make the amount of energy and time and the strain on your budget required to develop this habit as low as possible so that you can start building that consistency. And then you've got like a win, a real success that you can build more healthy habits on top of. So if you like carrots, adding some carrot sticks with your favorite dip to your lunch, that would be a great place to start. It's also good to start with small portions. You don't have to start with a whole serving per day. And actually, there's good reasons to not go from 0 to 5 or 7 or 8 servings per day all at once, because a big jump in fiber intake can cause a variety of unpleasant gastrointestinal side effects. So if you're not used to eating very many vegetables and you want to build this habit really, really quickly, I still recommend adding 1 serving per week and taking 5-ish weeks to get to your 5 servings of veggies per day. So once we've built that first success of a meal and a vegetable that was like easy to put together, from there, experimenting with new vegetables, new cooking methods, new recipes, new flavor combinations to expand that collection of vegetables that I can say, check, yes, I like this. Even if it's only to say, yes, I like Brussels sprouts, but only when they're roasted and then tossed with a little maple syrup and balsamic vinegar and some toasted pecans, which is a next level way to enjoy Brussels sprouts, by the way. And a great segue to my next tip, which is to embrace herbs, spices, sauces, and other flavorings. If you like ranch, go ahead. Or if you've got a favorite seasoning mix, toss some vegetables in a little bit of oil and that seasoning mix and roast them until they're done to your liking. You will probably like any vegetables you make that way, or almost any vegetables. So once we've got a collection of veggie dishes that we like, hopefully incorporating a range of different vegetables, the next step up is to figure out how to incorporate vegetables at every meal. It's pretty easy for dinner, I think, for most people. So once you've got that nailed, then work on adding veggies to lunch. That could be as simple as adding some lettuce and tomato slices to your sandwich, or some veggies and hummus to dip in beside your sandwich. And then see if there's ways that you can add vegetables to breakfast. Now, it's pretty easy to meet our vegetable intake goals without eating vegetables at breakfast. If that's where you would prefer to eat fruit and then stick with veggies at lunch and dinner, that's also totally cool. The healthy eating patterns look at average vegetable intake, not at specific meals. You can also look at veggie-based snacks. That could be something like veggies and dip, or veggies like celery with a nut butter, or it could be veggie chips like kale chips. It could just be a pickle. I think pickles make good snacks. And then some other cool strategies are finding ways to incorporate vegetables into dishes that don't typically have them, or just adding more vegetables to your dishes. So let's say you buy store-bought marinara sauce and make pasta. That already has lots of tomatoes and a little bit of onion in it, so it's got lots of veggies. But you could add sliced mushrooms, you could add some fresh basil, you could add some frozen spinach. You can find ways to add vegetables to casseroles, to soups, to lasagna. You can do those recipes for kids with like the hidden veggies, so like hidden veggie muffins. It's really easy to blend some vegetables into a breakfast smoothie, or any other time of day smoothie. And final tip is to make sure you have vegetables on hand. So an easy way to do that is to stock up on frozen veggies, because they're not going to go bad at the back of your fridge. And what's cool about frozen vegetables is it's a great opportunity to up the variety of vegetables that you're eating, because there's so many different options that have like multiple different veggies in a blend. So for the person who's already eating plenty of veggies, the next thing to work on is just diversifying those vegetables. Trying to hit all 5 colors of the Eat the Rainbow: red, orange and yellow, green, blue and purple, and white and brown. And trying to hit the major vegetable families: root vegetables, leafy vegetables, cruciferous vegetables, the cabbage family, alliums, the onion family, and mushrooms. And all of the same strategies for expanding your palate and recipe repertoire apply.
Wow, thank you so much. These are such great ideas and stuff we can all start implementing right away. Where can we learn more about this Nutrivore philosophy and the idea of like adding foods to our diet to focus on health rather than doing another restrictive diet in January?
My best resource is my book, Nutrivore, The Radical New Science for Getting the Nutrients You Need from the Food You Eat. But I also have a free weekly newsletter and a very comprehensive website full of information, Nutrivore.com. And if you're interested in tracking your vegetable servings, especially if this is a habit that you're working on, I suggest the Nutrivore Weekly Serving Matrix. That is included in my book, but if you would prefer a digital resource, you can also get that on my website, Nutrivore.com.